Greetings all, it's DFuxa, and even though it's August 25th, 2019, I guess we'll say welcome to an early start for fall 2019. So, what's going on? I'll know at this point that basically, at the point it's recording for this video, I basically have uploaded a lot of videos here for Caves of Qud. You've already basically seen a couple episodes of a showcase run for some Toucan runs here in Caves of Qud. I've had an early death of that first run though, but this second run will basically go a little bit longer, hopefully show off a little bit more about what Toucans are all about, and then I'll abruptly die, because I like to do that apparently in Caves of Qud. Alright, so those are basically all the videos I have scheduled for your little future, and as you can see, it's not a whole lot. So this means perhaps more fresher content for you guys, but it also leads to a question of why that is. So I'll know a couple things basically before we get into it. One of the reasons that there hasn't been a whole lot of recording on my part basically for the near future for you guys is because one of these games, John Jeffers at the Gate specifically here, didn't get any recordings done for it. And I guess that basically sort of leads into the title of this video. So I want to note that when I'm basically doing Let's Plays for you guys and for various developers and stuff like that, I'm basically trying to showcase games that, don't have all the attention yet for them, or perhaps they were games that didn't receive a whole lot of recordings, I guess, for them on YouTube, for example. I guess one of those examples would be say Battlezone 1. There was some recordings for Battlezone 1 on YouTube, but it was an old game and there wasn't a whole lot of them. And then my playlist came along and hopefully invigorated a little bit more energy into that game. And at some point, eventually, Rebellion acquired the rights for Battlezone, and then I got a key for that. So there's that happening because hooray, I basically was promoter, so why not give me a key for it? And essentially, one of the things I I'll basically promote games that don't get a whole lot of attention. But there's one thing to note: I don't really like to show off games that are perhaps incomplete or unfinished, or for the most part basically something I can't really promote in the best light. And At the Gates is sort of fitting that bill for right now. So I'll note that John Chapter's At the Gates, it's very much on the line where I can say it's a game that I can enjoy for a lot of the good ideas that this game will actually bring to the game community. This is a game that actually has a lot of good content for it. There's a lot of basis there to make a good game from it. But here's the thing: whenever I try to play this game, I try to do a recording for a Let's Play episode for it, about 3 minutes in, 20 minutes in, 40 minutes in, whatever, the game crashes. And that's basically saying something about John Chapter's At the Gate. It's not very stable, and if I'm going to be basically getting frustrated playing a game, that's not a good sign. So I basically have held off doing any Let's Plays for John Chapter's At the Gates just for a simple reason. I've been waiting for an update for it to basically improve the performance of the game to the point where it doesn't crash immediately on the first episode of me basically playing it. And that's probably the reason there hasn't been a whole lot of recordings for that game, and thus there has been a whole lot of scheduled videos for you guys in the future basically from this point. Also know as well, by the way, that that's sort of rings clear for Synthetic as well. Synthetic Legion Rising, of course, is a game I do a lot of cooperative plays with Cornish Knight with, and right now he's basically unavailable basically to do a lot of the cooperative runs with right now. So I'm basically waiting for him to get available again, and we can possibly finish this game, and then we can move on to say Barony or whatever cooperative games there is basically to play in the future. I'm knowing Barony, by the way, because basically there's an expansion for it, so you get to see a little bit more new content for it, so there'll be something to see there. I also plan, by the way, to do Synthetic Arena with him at some point. If it seems he doesn't have time basically to do that, I may just do it myself because it's not a whole lot in content wise for Arena, but I would like to basically do some cooperative play with him with him as well. And yeah, basically that's something to note about these free games here. So, well, I guess we'll just go on to basically get to the gist of what's going on here. Essentially, I'm in this sort of waiting period, I guess to say, for like, stuff to sort of happen, like, conditions to be met so I can basically get like this stuff recorded for you guys. And I'm thinking that if those conditions are met, well, I guess I could always do more Caves of Qud. I'll note that Caves of Qud, by the way, it's actually a roguelike that I'm thinking about possibly just like, just getting a whole lot of like videos out for it and like, say I'm done to the game, because Caves of Qud is an interesting game, but it's not really holding my attention all that well. And I basically just want to like get a few more runs out for it, maybe to like, showcase like, the various starts in the game and maybe the tinkering as well. But the thing about this game is I was hoping like, to like do like a couple like, pre-release like, videos for it, and then they basically released in 2019, right? To like basically, so I can basically have like, a playlist for perhaps after release. But I'll note that they pushed back their schedule for Caves of Qud to 2020, so I'm like, maybe I just want to complete this and be done with it and move on to something else, like, Unexplored or Lost Flame, or even back to Tales of Magiel, because I haven't yet like done like, Let's Play for like the recent expansion DLC with like, Forbidden Cults. But yeah, so that's basically where I'm at right now. So this is a little bit of a quicker episode, or not really episode, but talks video for you guys. I guess like in the near future, I'll be probably like holding off on like doing one of these like talk videos until like basically after something sort of happens. But for the next little while, for the most part, I'm basically gonna be going on autopilot for the most part of like my videos. Basically, it'll be fresher content for you guys, but it'll be content that for the most part it's just like I'm basically doing it because I can't really get the stuff I want to get done, mainly Synthetic and John Sharp's at the Gates done. So yeah, there's that. Before I go though, as well, I will note, by the way, that I have been thinking about one other thing, and that's Rome Total War. So I've been wondering if like I should probably say, if you start throwing that stuff up right now, because and my headset just cut out there for a moment, but basically thinking about Rome Total War, I'm thinking that like I just want to like sort of get that like onto like the the scheduling roster, I guess, at this point. There's a couple reasons for it. Basically, YouTube is starting to like change their like Creator Studio, and don't really like the whole lot like working the beta for the most part. So if they get rid of the default, I'm going to be like just hating myself using the beta to try and get my like Rome Total War stuff scheduled. That's something I know about YouTube, by the way. They're always changing their algorithms and stuff, and by the way, and yeah, it's getting to the point where it's like, well, I just want to get like just like get this done, and then like work with whatever they're gonna give me, I guess, in the near future. Because right now, what they got is terrible, of course. But that's just how betas work, I guess, especially when they're forced on you. Fun. But yeah, I'm thinking about like doing some like Rome Total War scheduling in the near future, because if like John Sharp's at the Gates isn't ready, I could at least probably show you guys Rome Total War, because that doesn't actually conflict with like showing you like the Bavarian invasion stuff. So I might like have like maybe like some of that coming out soon, if like I get to the point where it's like Caves of Qud like bore me so much I don't want to play anymore. So I might just throw that stuff out as well. But anyhow, that's basically it for right now. I guess this rambling is out of the way for the most part. Sorry if it bugs you, but whatever. That's it. Take care.